We didn't find a printer, so we prefer to come and tell the results in a electronic way, and then we'll go and make sure, perhaps even take 2 prints so you can have one already today. I won't read all 5 pages, but I will read about the presentation, the oral presentation and discussion, and then the conclusion. It's only a page or something. At the defense, Anja Wejs made an excellent oral presentation of her research that highlighted the main conclusions of the thesis more precisely, made a comprehensive presentation of her results, and supplemented the thesis with a clear description of main concepts and conclusions. In the presentation of oral defense, Anja dealt with the main critical issues and questions raised by the evaluation committee, and demonstrated that she is in a systematic and reflective way is able to participate in scientific discussion of complex questions related to both theoretical, methodological, and empirical issues. That was on the presentation part. Conclusion. The thesis of Anja Wejs explores the challenge of climate change for municipalities. This thesis contributes with knowledge on the constraints of the internal integration process in city governments. It provides explanation of why these constraints occur and how officials seek to overcome them. The thesis highlights the emergence of institutional entrepreneurs and local networks between municipalities and local business. And it contributes with a local perspective to the research area of climate change as a multi-level governance challenge. There's not a lot of jokes in this part, but the thesis is well-founded, and Wejs has a very good understanding of the philosophy of science and her own epistemology, what you call, wow, at this time of precision. Her thesis meets the standard for scientific quality and communication, and most papers are already published in high-ranked journals. Furthermore, she has cooperated with several other researchers outside the department, as well as several different municipalities. 2 major contributions of the thesis should be highlighted. First, Anja Wejs does with the thesis contribute to how climate change is dealt with at the local level of municipalities, focus on both mitigation and adaptation. The thesis gives a more contextualized understanding compared to more recent. We wrote boring in the beginning, but then we changed more recent literature on barriers to integration and climate change in the planning of municipalities. Anja Wejs gives a comprehensive and rich contribution in the empirical part, where she includes case studies from several municipalities and analyzed by means of different methods. On these grounds, the evaluation committee can recommend to the academic council of the Faculty of Science and Engineering that Anja Wejs is awarded the PhD degree. No, I don't want to do it.
For the very short piece of paper. Matt and I, we would like to say a few words to you, for you. And I'll start since I have known you for the longest time. I had the pleasure of being your supervisor during your master, so I got to know you when you were a student. And I hadn't engaged so much with you before because you were at geography. But then at your master level, and while supervising you, I got to know you as a very engaged, very curious, enthusiastic, and like I don't know the word in English, but like so engaged that sometimes you could be scary. No. Then I went to Kobe for a year to do consultancy work as a break from university, and there when I finished there, or before I finished, we wanted to continue the work on SEA, urban planning and climate change. And of course I thought about you as the person to do that work, because you've worked so much in practice and done research at universities. So I thought, Anja, she's just the person. And we started as a business PhD. Many words could be said about that. I would say every partner in that corporation had good intentions, but life shows that good intentions is not good enough. It's not enough. So after a long period, we decided with Anja that it doesn't work. So you started here at the university as a full university PhD, which was a good decision. So during the discussion, the defense mentioned the 2 years full research, and you should also look upon that on top of that you have been challenged by having a shift from the business PhD discourse to studying completely at university. So well done in also in that way. Then after a period, a year from a year ago or something, more than a year, we got Matt as a new colleague, and to bring in new energy, new inspiration, Matt became the co-supervisor.
Yeah. It wasn't the first time I think I met you, because I'd met you before, but I very vividly remember one of our first meetings as your supervisor, because I was sat down in Lona's office, as was, in Fib 13 when we were there, and I was sat down and you walked in to the office door and your mouth dropped and you went, wow. And I thought, this is the kind of response I expect from all my students. I think that's a good start. But it turned out that you were saying wow at the chairs that I was sitting on, which was designer make. And it had actually nothing to do with me. Surprisingly, that was. I think then, I think as we started to discuss the supervision, I became aware of the fact that you had about a year left to do 3 years work in or something like that, and then you told me you were off to New York, and I don't know if that was related to my arrival or not, but I think my overall kind of impressions has been that as an outsider we have some stereotypes of Denmark, of course, and some stereotypes that Denmark indeed likes to play to, of things like urbane, chic, design savvy, gadget savvy, and you've perfectly exemplified those kind of aspects of Danish culture for me. You know how to do things electronically that I could never figure out how to do. You always manage to look far smarter than I can manage after hours of preparation. And I didn't realise that people carried their bags so in such a feminine manner outside of American TV programs. So I think as perhaps an insecure English person, you've really shown the culture of Denmark to me, and lived up to some of our stereotypes, I think, has been my experience.
And also, sure, thank you. and like the thing about being smart, like you have, you say like not dimensions, but you cover a wide range from when I think about you of being both a New Yorker girl, but also really enjoying, as you've told me several times, to go home to your family in the forest, to wear stilettos, and other days just as comfortable in Wellington boots. You sort of have the span, and when I think about the span that I've experienced with you, being a very strong, independent lady, and at the same time very soft, and that I've enjoyed working with you. And I'll say, it's also something we have discussed a bit, that you're a little stubborn. So,
Compared to?
Compared to most people.
Excluding Lone.
Maybe that's why I recognize it. But that has also been part of the joyfulness of working with you. It's not like you're accepting everything that we have come with. Sometimes it's also been needed to say, now, you have to do this. But it's also very much a strength of you as a person, but also as a researcher, and continue exploring the stubbornness, and I think that will bring you wherever you want.
I think it's been, you know, a hard 12 months, to put it probably lightly, for you because of some of the pressures and all the pressures of completing a PhD anyway, as well as flitting between here and New York and everything else. And some of your colleagues have gladly pointed out to me what a rubbish supervisor I am, because they keep saying, don't you realise she's quite stressed? And I say to I spoke to Anja and she seems to be coping fine. But I think you've done a really good job of holding it together over what is inherently a very stressful period. And I very much enjoyed seeing how your work has developed over just a 12-month period. I mean, one of the nice things of working with people over a PhD is to see them build as an individual, and I've only had 1 year of that, but I can see tremendous improvements and gains and developments that you've made over just that 12-month period. So I think it's a time to look forward as well into what comes next, but very much it's a time to enjoy the moment, despite the fact that tomorrow with a hangover you have to come in. But I think try and make some space now to just sit back and say, you know, actually I should be proud of what I've already achieved. I've developed a lot as an individual. I've made a lot of achievements over the last 2.5, 3 years, and it's time to really, you know, actually enjoy the moment for those, because I think you've had some challenging circumstances. PhD research is always very tough, and you've come through that well. So it's don't just think about what comes next. Think about, you know, I'm going to be pleased with myself now. I'm going to enjoy the moment.
Did you hear that? So, that's it.
Yes?
Do
we have
we brought these hats, but we're not quite sure what to use them for. It was actually a little souvenir from Vietnam. She said we're also very happy that we can continue and have you part of our Vietnam project on climate change and SEA and urban planning.
Practically speaking, we didn't think we'd get the big ones back in one piece. But it turns out they fit my daughter's head perfectly.
So, congratulations.
It's like a doctoral hat, like in the US.
Yes. So, congratulations.
Yes.
And cheers for Anja.
Cheers.
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 Thank you very much, both of you. I brought a little sports hat. That's not because I plan to do any sports today. It's because I have hidden treasures inside it. And again, thank you everybody for coming today. It's a really nice feeling, and it makes me very, very happy. As Lone said, it's I can quote Kennedy, Jacqueline Kennedy for this. It's not always been easy, but it's never been boring. And it's for sure hasn't been an easy and linear road for this PhD. It's been up and down, taking different turns, and sometimes almost ending in a blind alley. But the 2 times I've been in this blind alley, Lone has been there, turning me around and giving my directions for the right turn. And Matt, working with you has been very inspiring. I've learned so much from you, not at least theoretically, and also doing research in a research way. Sometimes we're a bit entrepreneur at this university, and it's been nice to know that someone with the traditional way of doing things also could see the potential of the work that I've been doing and guiding me in very good ways. And second of all, you have a very nice sense of humor, which is always, she's also a very nice and very pleasant person to spend time with. And Luna, you are not at least a pleasant person, you're also a very fun person to spend time with. And
Please say that to my daughter.
and I don't think that I think far from everybody.
Oh, I knew it.
Far from everybody. Can say that they have a PhD supervisor who can guide you in a very good way, professionally, but also manage to find one person in the very dark hours of the week, so to speak. And this blanket really is a symbol for some very fun and very good times that I spent with you. And I know that your cat was very pleased with a blanket like this. I was very surprised that all of a sudden a blanket you did not know you had was picked up with cat hair and everything by a taxi driver outside your door. So this is a symbol of the fun times that we had, and also so your cat won't freeze.
The cat is now dead.
Hypothermia,
was it?
Thank your daughter.
No, that's why you need to have a new cat.
I have a new cat.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Thank you, Anja. Maybe you get this story later.
But also just to remind you that you are everything, and you also sometimes is too much an entrepreneur and to have too many projects and want too many things. This is a great thank you for standing behind me when times has been tough. I know it's not been very easy always to get things together, especially with COVID and also this fall. So this is for the quiet moments when you don't have to work and you can sit in your couch and just enjoy being there.
My dog.
Sweet dog.
Sweetheart.
And Matt, just to confirm all your stereotypes of dates,
Here's a hand
I
back.
got your serious guide of dates. And just want to read you a small paragraph. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see if I can find the right place. Yeah, he is. Sorry about that. It's about healthy living in Denmark, and we are very much occupied with organic food and doing lots of exercise, and we always have to bicycle everywhere. So sugar is a particular target and attracts a brand new fat tax. One dentist waiting room has half-liter fizzy drink bottles hung up by the neck, displaying 32 lumps of sugar as a warning about the contents. Salt, however, seems to have weathered the storm of public antipathy. It has always been a common preservative in any Danish household. Salt the bacon, salt the herring, salt the licorice, salt the popcorn, salt the psychopaths. And you'll find everything about the design and how bold we are. We don't have any behavior. And it's written by a British person. And somewhere I brought a bottle of champagne.
Oh, it's gone. Somebody found it.
I think it's in the fridge. But this is my glass.
It's mine, so you can have me share.
I think mine is that.
No, maybe that's mine.
No, I think that's mine.
It's around the same.
So, a cheers for Luna and Matt, and also for all my colleagues at DESEA and at the Institute. I don't think there's many places in the world that has such a great environment It's a lot of good people, fun people, and serious people at the same time. It has a very nice environment to be a part of. So thank you very much for that.
Cheers.
First of all, I'll keep on my hat from this afternoon and say a huge thanks to you, both of you. It has been a great pleasure working together with you. It has been very easy task to chair this committee. Of course, because of the work of you made it easy, but also I think the collaboration went very smoothly. So a big thanks also on the behalf of the department. Great pleasure. Thank you. And then Anja. Yes. In fact, I also known you. I think there was one semester where I was somehow allowed by Lone to supervise you. Was it right? At least in my memory I did, but I'm not
During
sure.
the exam of my master thesis.
Okay. Anyway, I recall when all this was beginning, we both went to a huge seminar in Randers. You remember?
Okay.
And there was, it was one of these big halls, so I guess there was around 500-600 people, Lord Mayors from all over Jutland, and there was a guy from one of your cases, and I'm really surprised you have been allowed to come in this municipality. Perhaps they changed the Lord Mayor because otherwise, you have been there with a different name tag, I think, because this Lord Mayor, he was from Skive and presenting what they were doing, and he did a mistake in his presentation. And by the way, he was perhaps also introducing the concept of institutional entrepreneur for you, because he was mentioning it's due to, I've forgotten the name, but he put a name tag on the guy who had been doing a lot of the activities in Skive municipality, putting PV on all rooftops and done a lot of work in the area of climate. But he did one mistake, and then there was a student from Aalborg racing just afterwards, and it was nearly like jumping up, and the first one to, and it was not like a polite question, it was like, shut, go on. I think he was, yeah, for sure he knew the difference between carbon neutral, and I don't even totally recall what he did as a mistake, but that was the moment I was thinking, okay, you better. Yeah. So you already did an impressive work as a student, and in fact we were also partly engaged in some of the work up to COP15 and so on. So it has been a pleasure working together with you already as a student, and I'm really looking forward. Then I can take this on behalf of the department that we find ways of collaborating in the future. And I strongly believe that we need people like you in the department. Now you have done this more, I was not using boring, no, you have done this very thorough analysis of all the planning part. So I'm really looking forward to the next step where you also will do all the bottom-up participation and let all the flowers grow. So a huge congratulations on behalf of the department, and I guess there will be kind of the usual gift, but anyway, perhaps the motive has changed, I don't know. Congratulations again. Okay. So cheers once more.
Cheers. Cheers.